good balance of extracurriculars and the actual education.
Could cuts be coming at Canada's largest school board? The TDSB works to balance the books.
Tonight, what's at risk? Pool and music programs on the chopping block. Good evening. School board officials say they're dealing with a multi-million-dollar deficit.
They recently floated the idea of some possible program cuts and with parents, and tonight are meeting to debate what to do next. CTV's Janice Golding joins us live with the details. Janice.
Hi, Nathan. The Budget Committee meeting got underway about an hour and a half ago, and I can tell you that trustees have some very difficult decisions to make in the days ahead, given the board is facing a big budget shortfall. The Toronto District School Board is facing a massive structural budget deficit to the tune of $58 million, which is why the board is considering cutbacks in areas not fully covered by Ministry of Education funding.
Not particularly happy.
I think it's important for everyone to be able to experience all types of activities.
The board recently sent out an online survey to parents asking them to weigh in on 5 areas where they thought the board could reduce spending, like pools and swim programming, music programming, Chromebooks for every student from grades 5 to 12, outdoor education, continuing education, and cafeterias.
I'm done with it. Like, we have to limit screen time already, and they don't need to be on a Chromebook entertaining themselves when the teachers are bored.
Oh my goodness, I think the pools are so important to the children at these schools. I don't understand how they could dismantle all that.
I think in school, you need a good balance of extracurriculars and the actual education. And by taking out like the pool and activities outside of school and the music program, it's kind of taking away from like the experience of high school.
I think it'd be a shame if they got rid of all of those things.
The TDSB says at a meeting today, trustees are hearing from the board's Finance, Budget and Enrollment Committee about a report released earlier this year, which identified areas where funding and expenditures did not align. The board's chair saying in a statement to CTV News this afternoon, it's important to note that no final decisions have been made. The core education funding for 2025-26 has yet to be announced, and when it is, staff will update the financial projections and inform trustees. While a number of options have been brought forward for consideration, it will ultimately be up to school trustees to make any final decisions as part of the annual budget process. A final decision is not expected until late June. A little more detail on the board's 66 pools. The committee is recommending that more than half, or 35, be shut down and all 86 aquatic instructors be laid off. Reporting live from Janice Golding, now back to Michelle.
Thank you, Janice. Also tonight, a troubling video surfaces of a man who appears to push a shopping cart into a cyclist path. Just ahead, what police have to say about it as we investigate what happened.
But first, we turn to a deadly and targeted shooting in Burlington.
Police say the victim was eating at a restaurant before being shot and ultimately killed in the parking lot. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the latest on the murder investigation and the hunt for suspects.
As diners headed for lunch at this Mandarin in Burlington, many were disheartened to hear a shooting had taken place in the parking lot the night before.
This is such a peaceful neighborhood. Burlington's like one of the safest places to live.
It's craziness. It's just absolutely nuts, really and truly.
It was around 8:30 p.m. when Halton police were called to this plaza in the area of Fairview and Brant Streets. Officers found a man suffering from gunshot wounds. The victim was in his 50s, but his name has not been released.
Unfortunately, an adult male was shot and pronounced deceased after traveling to hospital.
This black SUV had its back passenger window shattered and was one of around a dozen vehicles that were in the parking lot at the time of the shooting. However, it's this gray, newer model Honda Civic with dark tinted windows and black alloy rims investigators are looking for. They're asking for the public's help to identify the car and those inside of it.
We are looking for witnesses. We are looking for dash cam video from the area around the time of the shooting, so we're appealing for that currently.
While investigators believe this was a targeted attack, several people were inside the Mandarin when the shooting occurred, and police believe the victim had just finished eating there as well before he was shot.
Other people, innocent people, could have been gotten hurt, right? Because this is, look at the vehicles, the number of vehicles out here, people walking around. You don't know what would have happened. So it's pretty brazen.
There are several security cameras in this plaza, all of them looking out over the parking lot, and they will certainly be analyzed as Halton police continue to investigate the region's second homicide of the year. Rahim Ladani, CTV News.
Still ahead, uprooted trees and downed power lines, assessing the aftermath after last night's intense and powerful storm.
Certainly much calmer today, but a noticeable cool down. This bright sunshine continues at this hour as we take a live look outside at Nathan Phillips Square. Looks like a beautiful evening for a stroll or whatever you have planned. Let's bring in Lindsay Morrison with a look at the current conditions. Lindsay.
Yeah, what a difference compared to this time yesterday, Michelle, when we were tracking that line of severe thunderstorms. I'll step aside so you can see that all is calm on the satellite and radar. Just starting to get a little bit of an increase in cloud cover and see that wet weather over the state of Michigan. That's headed our way for tomorrow. Winds much calmer as well. They're coming out of the south right now, very light. Temperatures are in the double digits around the Golden Horseshoe, with the exception of those lakeside communities. It is 7 degrees on the Toronto Islands right now, 11 at Pearson Airport, but we did make it to our forecast daytime high of 12. Here's your evening at a glance. Enjoy these final hours of April. We'll talk about what's in store for the early days of May coming up. For now, Nathan, I'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. It tore through Toronto during our newscast, and last night's storm left a trail of destruction.
Uprooted trees, downed hydro lines, and outages. Some residents are still waiting for the power to be restored tonight. CTV's Mike Walker joins us live from Scarborough with the cleanup and the aftermath of what was an intense storm, Mike.
It sure was, Michelle and Nathan. As you can see behind me, the cleanup and repairs continuing at this hour. This neighborhood in the Warden and Ellesmere area is one of many pockets across the city where residents are still in the dark. In fact, in this neighborhood, they've been without power for nearly 24 hours now.
Large trees uprooted and sent crashing down on power lines and even cars. In Scarborough, large branches pierced the windshield of this minivan. The impact startling neighbors.
We heard the tree coming down. Less than 2 minutes for it to fall down.
Tuesday's spring storm was quick but intense with powerful wind gusts. Hydro poles snapped like twigs. This viewer video shows a tarp and construction material blowing off the roof of a building near Jane and Steele's. This is the aftermath today. You can see debris scattered everywhere. At its peak, Toronto Hydro says 27,000 customers lost power. By this morning, that number was about 1,400.
We're not used to it, but we're just dealing the best we can.
Julianne Robichaud has been without power for nearly 24 hours after her neighbor's pine tree toppled power lines.
Big gust of wind came up and a big flash of light, and then the power went out.
That could have been a lot worse than when the tree went down and hit the cable and stuff like that. No one was around, so that was good.
Jack Wilson works from home and was forced to buy a generator. It could be late tonight before his power is restored.
Really, we just need enough power to charge our devices and fridge.
Near Brimley and Lawrence.
And mostly on my cars, the branches.
Joe Rosario is assessing the damage after the large pine tree in front of his parents' house was snapped in half and sent crashing down on their cars.
I don't know the extent of the damage on the driver's side, but hopefully it's just scratch.
He says he was standing in the driveway with his mom minutes before the storm rolled through.
15 minutes later, the sky was dark and you could hear the howling of the wind and then a big boom. When I checked the window, boom, it's so dark and it's the tree.
Most of the power was restored across the city by this afternoon as hydro crews continue to work around the clock.
And the latest information from Toronto Hydro is that less than 400 customers in the city are still without power. They tell us they expect to have power restored for most of those customers sometime this evening or overnight. Reporting live, I'm Mike Walker. Nathan, back to you.
Thank you, Mike. The office of Hamilton Mayor Andrew Horvath says she was hurt in a fall as that intense weather hit southern Ontario yesterday. Officials say it happened on the stairs outside City Hall during extremely windy conditions. The mayor has had surgery for a broken wrist and is being assessed for an elbow fracture and leg injury. Horvath is set to rest and recover at home for the rest of the week. In a statement, her office said it's grateful for the outpouring of concern and well wishes from the community.
Cyclists say it's just the latest example of the unnecessary dangers they face in this city.
An alarming video has surfaced of a shopping cart that appears to be thrown in the path of someone on a bike. As CTV's Scott Lightfoot reports, police are investigating.
The bike lanes along the Danforth are a popular route for cyclists. This morning, some passed by this shopping cart unaware that just a day earlier it had been used as a weapon against one of their own.
It's heartbreaking to see stuff like this. This is such a random act of violence perpetrated against, someone riding a bicycle. It really should give everybody pause.
Toronto police are now investigating the incident that happened just before 10 Tuesday morning on the north side of Danforth, just west of Monarch Park. Security video from a business on the street shows a man pushing a shopping cart along the sidewalk as he walks east before he appears to forcibly slam it into a food delivery courier going west in the bike lane.
I was upset, but not surprised. Unfortunately, this area has had a couple incidents. I've had someone throw a brick through my office window twice.
Holly Liddell has installed multiple cameras outside of her office due to a number of incidents in the area. One camera caught this incident, the other a clear view of the man walking away.
You can see a clearer image of him, backpack, shoes, what he was wearing. I got a sense that maybe it was someone who is a regular in the neighborhood and perhaps someone does know him.
The cyclist was taken to hospital with unknown injuries. Police are still trying to identify the man who appears to have pushed the cart into his path.
These events are increasingly more common. We want people to really be careful out there. If you see someone who's dangerous, behaving aggressively, report that. There's online reporting that you can do to police. If you've seen this individual specifically, don't confront them, contact authorities.
Scott Lightfoot, CTV News.
Police in York Region say they've recovered more than $3 million worth of stolen property after an investigation into organized thefts. Investigators dubbed this case Project Stealin' Spirits. It was launched back in December with a focus on curbing thefts of high-end construction tools. Police say wholesalers and commercial businesses have been targeted across York Region and the GTA. Officers executed a number of search warrants at a Toronto home and several storage lockers and found this trove of stolen goods. 6 suspects have been charged. Police say the investigation is still ongoing.
And here in the city, police say they've made an arrest in their own investigation into stolen property. Investigators say they found out a suspect was purchasing stolen merchandise and carried out a search warrant near Parliament and Wellesley. They say they located approximately 500 bottles of stolen alcohol with an estimated value of $27,000. A 66-year-old Toronto man faces charges, including possession of property obtained by crime for the purpose of trafficking.
There were some strong words today about the justice system coming from Ontario's premier.
Doug Ford lashing out at judges he claims are blocking the province's agenda. As CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports, his remarks are getting plenty of reaction tonight.
It was supposed to be an announcement about tweaks Ontario can make to bail, but the premier eclipsed it with a rant he says he's been holding in for 7 years.
What right do they have, an unelected, politically appointed judges, determining our budgets?
Doug Ford taking aim not only at judges he says are soft on accused criminals, but derailing his government's agenda.
We get democratically elected, and some judge slaps an injunction on bike lanes.
The government is appealing that injunction that blocks the removal of bike lanes on 3 Toronto streets. That's until a decision is made on whether the removal is unconstitutional.
Last time I checked, there hasn't been any judges elected. Maybe that's the problem. We should do what the U.S. does. Let's start electing our judges, holding them accountable.
Not something the provincial government has power to decide. But Ford is floating another way to get people on the bench who see things his way.
You know, one of these judges that are bleeding hearts, I can't wait till they retire. Matter of fact, I'll pay him to retire earlier.
The Canadian Civil Liberties Association calls Ford's comments deeply alarming, stressing the need to respect judicial independence and rule of law to maintain a fair criminal justice system. Something echoed by the opposition at Queen's Park.
When the Premier starts talking like this, it's dangerous.
The judiciary are not there to further our agenda. They're independent. Their job is to impose the rule of law and to interpret the rule of law.
Pointing out Doug Ford's frustrations sound a lot like someone else.
When you're fighting Trump, to sound like Trump when it comes to respecting the courts and due process doesn't do Ontarians any good, doesn't do Canadians any good.
The opposition says the answer to anger over potentially violent people being released from custody is more funding for the courts.
People who should get, who should be behind bars are not. Their cases are being dismissed. and people who are innocent are stuck behind bars and not getting their day in court.
The government's introducing legislation Thursday. It includes measures to hire more judges, to work through a case backlog, and to speed up the appointment process. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
A report released today suggests the province is considering shortening the length of Teachers College to address a growing shortage of educators. The Canadian Press filed a Freedom of Information request to the Ministry of Education. One file highlighted a finding that longer training programs don't make for better teachers, but it said in-class experience and practicums does help teachers feel better prepared and leads to longer retention rates. In 2015, the then Liberal government doubled the length of Teachers College from 1 to 2 years. A spokesperson for Education Minister Paul Calandra says he's asked the ministry to report back on the best way forward to ensure student success.
And the province's Financial Accountability Office says the trade war with the U.S. will lead to a modest recession in the province this year. The FAO report says if tariffs remain in place, Ontario's growth would slow to 0.6% this year. That's less than half of the 0.7% growth expected if there were no tariffs. It estimates tariffs will result in 68,000 fewer jobs in the province this year and 119,000 fewer next year.
Those forecasts for Ontario come as experts warn the whole country is heading towards a recession.
CTV's Heather Wright has a look at the numbers, the reasons behind them, and what all of this means going forward.
Canada's economy shrank in February with more economic headwinds in the future, according to Deloitte, which predicts a recession later this year.
All in all, conditions are pretty soggy at the moment. I think we need some clarity on what our relationship with the U.S. is actually going to be.
According to Statistics Canada, gross domestic product decreased by 0.2% in February, with 12 of the country's 20 industrial sectors posting declines. Experts say supply chain disruptions from the severe February storm in eastern Canada also contributed to the slowdown. And while these soft numbers are not directly tied to Donald Trump's trade war, which didn't begin in earnest until March, manufacturing did see an increase in February, which could be due to efforts by companies to get products shipped before tariffs went into effect.
You're seeing an increase in economic activity due to the fact that people are trying to get their orders in advance.
In the United States, markets opened sharply lower this morning on news the world's largest economy shrank in the first quarter. And the impact of a sluggish American economy is expected to trickle north, compounding challenges to Canada's economic growth that existed before the trade war began.
The Canadian economy is not growing in any meaningful, substantial, sustainable way. That's something that this new government has to address very quickly, and it goes beyond just tariffs.
Economists are predicting a slight bump to the GDP numbers from March, but will be watching the second and third quarters closely, as that's when they expect to see the impact of tariffs come through. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
After a campaign that saw tariff and annexation threats take center stage, the U.S. president this afternoon weighed in on Prime Minister Mark Carney's election victory.
I spoke to him yesterday. Couldn't have been nicer, and I congratulated him. You know, it was a very mixed signal because it's almost even, which makes it very complicated for the country. It's a pretty tight race, but he's a very nice gentleman, and he's going to come to the White House very shortly.
The Prime Minister's office has not confirmed a date for this meeting, only that it will happen in the near future. The White House said it was expected to happen within the next week or so. Carney has said a meeting will happen if Trump respects Canada's sovereignty.
The chaos unleashed by Donald Trump's tariffs is expected to be the biggest challenge facing the Prime Minister when Parliament gets back to work on May 26th.
CTV senior political correspondent Mike Lecouteur has more on the road ahead for the government and the opposition parties after Monday's election.
As Prime Minister Mark Carney holds transition meetings, federal Conservatives are assessing the results while some of their provincial cousins have some pointed criticism.
I hope they do some soul searching.
Nova Scotia Premier Tim Houston didn't hold back in his assessment of the federal election.
I think the Conservative Party of Canada was very good at pushing people away, not so good at pulling people in.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford was one of those people. His team openly criticized Poilievre's campaign, and clearly there's still bad blood.
Last time I checked, Pierre Poilievre never came out in our election. Matter of fact, him or one of his lieutenants told every one of his members, don't you dare go out and help the PCs. Isn't that ironic? But anyways, I'm not going to dig deep into this.
A federal Conservative campaign source tells CTV News that despite losing his seat, Pierre Poilievre is making calls to the grassroots of the party to get their feedback. One defeated Conservative MP who once falsely claimed the cost of living was driving parents to traffic their kids posted a message online calling for her party to be a more moderate opposition.
To hold them accountable, but find that sweet spot where we are not so extreme, you know.
Without a seat in the House of Commons, Poilievre could have one of his MP-elects step down and give up their riding so he can run in a by-election.
And then the Prime Minister has up to 6 months to actually call that by-election. So do the math. We're looking, at the end of 2025 before that by-election is probably even called.
With Jagmeet Singh losing his seat, the NDP must also choose an interim leader, and a party source says caucus could start that process next week. Now, after failing to win more seats, Green Party co-leader Jonathan Pedneau announced he is stepping down, leaving Elizabeth May as the party's sole leader and only MP. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
Commemorations were held across Israel today for that country's Memorial Day. Traffic across Israel came to a standstill as sirens sounded in honor of fallen soldiers and victims of terror attacks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu attended a ceremony at a military cemetery in Jerusalem. He spoke about Hamas's 2023 attack on Israel that sparked the war in Gaza and said Israel would settle the account of those responsible. Approximately 1,200 people were killed in Israel. The Hamas-controlled health ministry in Gaza says 52,000 Palestinians have died in Israel's military response. Also today, Israel requested international help in combating an outbreak of wildfires outside Jerusalem. Police closed the main route connecting that city and Tel Aviv as many drivers abandoned their vehicles on the highway. Residents of several communities have also been forced to flee. The cause of the fires is under investigation, but officials warned they could get worse thanks to dry conditions and high winds.
It's bad for your eyes to look directly at the sun, but a first-of-its-kind image is offering what could be the next best thing. The U.S. National Science Foundation used a solar telescope and a new filter to create this closer-than-ever three-dimensional view of what is happening on the sun's surface. Scientists are looking out for blemishes where solar flares and other activity are more likely to occur. Experts say that helps them learn about and predict solar weather that could affect power grids and satellite networks here on Earth.
And back here on Earth, there was an unexpected sight this week for residents in a town outside New Haven. One shared this video of a trio of bears that discovered a children's play set in their backyard. The bears can be seen playing with the set and even getting a little tangled up in the swing before moving on to something else.
Coming up, looking ahead after another major letdown, the Maple Leafs focus on Game 6 in Ottawa as fans try not to push the panic button.
And I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, many people have already filed their taxes and received their refund checks. But if you haven't, today is the deadline. We can tell you why you should file your taxes on time and how you can do it for free. I'll have that story. Let's just ahead.
Already the end of April, and this year we will remember the month for bringing us nearly 7 centimeters of snow in Toronto and also a decent amount of rainfall, but the majority of it fell at the beginning of the month, so we were due for some wet weather when those storms rolled through yesterday. Tomorrow it's going to be a little cool, a little cloudy, and yes, maybe a little stormy for the first day of May. What's in store for the weekend? We'll take you through the forecast coming up, and stay with us. We've got another full night of great shows for you right here on CTV.
For most Canadians, today is the final day to file your taxes if you want to avoid late penalties and interest on any amounts owing.
About 20 million tax returns will be filed to the Canada Revenue Agency, and if you haven't filed yours yet, there are good reasons to try to get it done. Here's Pat Foran and Consumer Alert. Pat.
Thanks, Nathan. And Michelle, a survey by H&R Block found a week ago 22% of Canadians still hadn't filed their taxes yet, and many will be scrambling to try and file them tonight before midnight. If you're self-employed, you have a little longer until June 15th to get it done. If you owe money to the CRA and you file your taxes late, you could have to pay a 5% penalty on what you owe, as well as another 1% penalty per month until your return is submitted. It's always wise to prepare your taxes carefully, but that's especially true this tax season.
This is really the year to sit back and say, okay, let's be a little bit more careful with what we're doing and make sure that, everything we have is complete and accurate.
The capital gains tax was to increase for the 2024 tax year, but it's been deferred for future debate.
So the capital gains inclusion rate, the change to take it from 50% to 2/3, that did not go through. It didn't receive royal assent.
Due to the postal strike, the CRA also extended the donations eligibility window, so any donations made in the first 2 months of this year can be claimed on last year's taxes.
If you have any donations that you made at the beginning of the year, just be aware that you can claim those donations on your 2024 return instead of your 2025 return.
Because the government got rid of the carbon tax, which was charged at the gas pumps, in the future you'll no longer get carbon rebate checks showing up in your bank account.
They scrapped the carbon tax on those energy products. Well, of course, now the rebate will go away as well.
You should do your taxes to receive other government benefits. You could get the GST credit, Canada Child Benefit, and other benefits, but you have to file your taxes to get that money.
There are often a lot of benefits that a person can unlock simply by getting your taxes filed.
If you have a complicated tax situation, such as you sold a property, got a divorce, or have a business, you may want the help of a tax professional. But if your tax return is fairly simple, you can do it yourself. You can find free tax software at the CRA website, which can walk you through the process.
If it's a simple tax refund, just, a T4, just the income statement, then it can be pretty straightforward and free.
It's best to stay organized all year long. Create a file to store your receipts and paperwork so they're easy to find the next time tax season rolls around. And this year, the government had some trouble getting out some tax documents on time. If for any reason you don't have yours, you can sign into your CRA account. All the necessary tax slips should be there. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
Yesterday, we told you about visitors stopping by High Park to get a glimpse of the cherry blossoms. And today, we learned some exciting news about the annual spring attraction. The City of Toronto says the flowers will reach peak bloom later this week. That determination was made based on the rising temperature. The blossoms usually last from 4 to 10 days. You can find out more about where to see cherry blossoms across Toronto on the city's website. That's another sure sign of spring.
Yes.
Good to see.
That's so exciting. It'll be busy there, but gorgeous, and there's lots of trees to see.
Yes. Unfortunately, several trees were also damaged yesterday. Not the cherry blossom trees, hopefully, but lots of downed trees, as we saw in Mike Walker's report, also around the City of London, as well as Guelph, Ontario. And I want to take you to a different part of the province near Muskoka, Bancroft area, and in fact, very specifically just north of Bancroft in a community called Birds Creek. Take a look at some of the damage here. So plenty of trees down, many widespread power outages yesterday as a result of that line of storms and the very strong winds as well. So a bit of cleanup to be done. And you may recall that it was only 1 month ago that ice storm impacted some of those areas, both in Ontario and Quebec. The ice would have weakened some of those trees and tree branches. So couple that with the very strong winds we had yesterday, and it's no surprise that many of them, unfortunately, came crashing to the ground. For some, this was a repeat of power outages, much like the last couple of weeks. And worth mentioning, too, that the Insurance Bureau of Canada now says that between Ontario and Quebec, with that ice storm, there was caused $342 million in insured damage. So we're going to continue to follow that story. I did notice a lot of those trees in that video seem to have all fallen in the same direction, which may be indicative of straight line winds or perhaps a downburst. Environment Canada likely to follow up on that over the next few days here. Let's talk about the big drop in temperature. Many communities yesterday went from a high of about 26, 27 degrees, looking at you, Algonquin Park, to a morning temperature this morning of -3. We stayed on the plus side in Toronto, but barely. 2 is what we woke up to this morning. Nice rebound this afternoon. We did climb to 12 degrees. It's 11 degrees right now. Starting to see single-digit temperatures around central and eastern Ontario at this time. Tonight, it's not going to be quite as chilly. 7 is our forecast overnight low. You'll notice that that's on the warm side of seasonal. Waking up tomorrow morning, some cloud cover certainly, maybe a few showers early on, and then a better chance of seeing some wet weather and perhaps some thunderstorms in the afternoon and evening tomorrow. Daytime temperature about 11 degrees. That's cooler than normal, but the temperature is actually going to rise as we make our way into Thursday night. So here's what we're looking at on the satellite and radar imagery. Another area of low pressure is on the way. And yes, once again, this could bring us some much needed rain, yes, but also the potential for some thunderstorm activity. So let's talk about the timing. Again, waking up tomorrow morning, chance of a few spotty showers. First round of embedded thunderstorms. This is a different setup than what we had yesterday. Could happen early in the afternoon. And once again, a little bit of concern about thunderstorm activity around the dinner hour, then into Friday. Scattered showers. There's a slight chance of a shower into Saturday morning, but I think at this point, the bigger concern is that it's going to be a little cloudy and a little cool for the first weekend of May. There's an idea of how much rain could be in the forecast. The weekend, though, does look drier. And look at Sunday, sunshine and a high of 17 degrees. Temperatures trend a little more seasonal through the early part of next week, too. That's your look at the forecast. Nathan, over to you.
Thank you, Lindsay. Also tonight, it's used to keep lines and wrinkles at bay, yet the origins of Botox are not cosmetic, they're medical. Just ahead, a closer look at how the drug was pioneered 4 decades ago, right here in Toronto.
Botox is well known as a cosmetic treatment, but this year actually marks 40 years since it was first used as a medical treatment.
And as CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, the University Health Network was involved right from the beginning.
Botox. It's a delicate procedure Dr. Stephen Kraft has done some 18,000 times over the past 40 years.
So the muscles that go into spasm are the brows and this ring of muscle around the eye.
He was the pioneer who first used the botulinum toxin at the University Health Network to treat patients with eye conditions. Judge Peter Douglas suffers from the same condition as that first patient, blepharospasm.
It involved a lot of hypersensitivity to light initially. I would sort of cringe when I saw lights like these, and then it seemed to expand to my eyelids wanting to be closed all the time, and which is difficult if you're trying to drive a car, for example.
It can be quite disabling, and in the 1980s we found that we could use this drug to relax the muscles that were going into spasm and allow these people days where their eyes were open and they could carry on with their daily activities.
Botulinum is derived from a bacterium. In fact, a single batch was the source for all medical procedures around the world for 25 years.
The amount that we use is of the order of what's called nanograms. So that's 1/billionth of a gram.
But the effects of that tiny dose allowed Douglas to lead a normal life for more than 3 months before he comes in for another round of injections.
10 minutes, perhaps, of treatment, 10 minutes of chatting, and I'm on my way.
He says having needles near his face was initially unpleasant, but now knowing the benefits of treatment, he's grateful for that discovery made by scientists 4 decades ago. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
U2 frontman Bono is bringing a one-man show about his life story to the big screen.
I was born with my fists up. Surrender does not come easy to me. This is my story. I'm stuck with it.
Bono's Stories of Surrender is based on the singer's one-man show drawn from his memoir of the same title. Along with stories of his life and career, the film features Bono performing several U2 hit songs and footage from the band's residency at the Las Vegas Sphere. The movie premieres at the Cannes Film Festival before streaming May 30th on Apple TV+.
Barbra Streisand is getting ready to release a new album of duets with several high-profile artists.
I've always loved singing duets with gifted artists. They inspire me and make working in the studio a joy.
Streisand revealed the album will be called The Secret of Life Partners Volume 2. She also shared a glimpse into her time in the studio with Paul McCartney while teasing tracks alongside artists like James Taylor, Mariah Carey, Ariana Grande, Seal, and Bob Dylan, to name a few. The album is out June 27th.
After the break, staying positive after another heartbreaking loss. The Leafs head to Ottawa in control of the series, but getting close to a worst-case scenario.
It's kind of taking away from like the experience of high school.
I think it's be a shame if they got rid of all of those things.
Updating our top stories, the Toronto District School Board is asking parents to weigh in on potential cuts to address a $58 million deficit. The board outlined items like pools, music programs, and Chromebooks that could be on the chopping block, but officials say a final decision won't be made until June.
Other people, innocent people, could have been gotten hurt, right?
A homicide investigation is underway in Burlington after a deadly shooting outside a Mandarin last night. Emergency crews were called to the plaza near Fairview and Brant and found a man in his 50s with gunshot wounds. He didn't survive. Police say this was likely a targeted shooting, and they're looking for a gray Honda Civic in connection with the case.
This is such a random act of violence perpetrated against someone riding a bicycle.
And cycling advocates are speaking out after an incident caught on camera in the East End yesterday morning. Security footage shows a man appearing to slam a shopping cart into a food delivery courier in the bike lane. The cyclist suffered unknown injuries. Police say they're still trying to identify the man who pushed that cart.
Remember to keep up to date day and night at ctvnewstoronto.ca and by downloading the CTV News app.
A long list of companies reported earnings today. BNN Bloomberg's Morella Fernandez has the details in tonight's business report.
Powerhouse tech company Meta is reporting first quarter revenue of $42.3 billion. And that's well ahead of the $36.5 billion it made in the same quarter last year. And while others are slowing investment in AI data centers, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram is upping its spend. Meta also announced it has a new AI app that acts like a personal assistant. Canadian Pacific Kansas City reported Q1 revenue of $3.8 billion. That's up 8% over last year. But the railway is lowering earnings guidance for later in the year given the trade war and the fear of recession. Loblaw reported a first quarter profit of $14.1 billion, significantly higher than the $13.6 billion of last year. The grocery chain says customers are taking advantage of loyalty offers. Loblaw also owns the Shoppers Drug Mart chain. Here's how the trading day ended. The Canadian dollar moved up to 72.57. West Texas Intermediate took a sharp dive of more than $2 to 58.21. Our fix on Western Canadian Select has it down $1.55 to 50.06, and the TSX is down 32 points today to 24,841. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
The Business Report is brought to you by Canadian Western Bank, the bank built for business.
The Battle of Ontario will continue. The Toronto Maple Leafs failed to pull out a win against the Senators last night.
It would have clinched the first round and let the team advance in the playoffs. As CTV's Sean Leithong reports, fans are starting to worry that this season may end the way so many others have.
Moving in, Cousins scores!
With a chance to end the series, the Leafs are shut out at home. Once up 3-0, now at 3-2. And fans were not shy last night.
Zero intensity.
Hard to watch.
And the Leafs are a way better team, and to have a shutout at home is just horrible.
And there's a familiar feeling starting to creep in.
Yeah, it sure feels like some of those playoff demons are surfacing again for this Leafs core. They're going to have to perform an exorcism in Ottawa.
In the 9 straight seasons that the Leafs have made the playoffs, they are now 1-14 in potential series-clinching games.
There's a lot of nervousness in that building and amongst the Maple Leafs, honestly.
Before heading to Ottawa this morning, Leafs defenseman Morgan Riley said they expected difficult times.
I think in moments like this or in the past in playoff series, it kind of brings you together, when you face a little bit of adversity.
But for a team looking to change momentum for Game 6 in Ottawa, Coach Craig Berube pointed to one specific area that needs to improve.
You have to have that work mentality and that checking mentality. Checking's not just playing defense. Checking is offense. You check for your chances. You get on the inside. You work and hound. It creates turnovers from the other team. It creates chaos for the other team. We can do a better job of that as a team.
So whatever players and fans may feel about those playoff demons, there is still a chance tomorrow night in Ottawa to finish this series. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
The Scepters faced off with the New York Sirens last night in their second last game of the regular season.
And the Scepters win. Carpenter comes in. Toronto in a shootout. Winner.
The game went to a shootout, but the Scepters came out on top 2-1. The team clinched a playoff berth earlier this week. The Scepters will be back on the ice Saturday to play Ottawa in their final game of the regular season.
Washington has a long history as a hockey town.
Meantime, the league is growing. The PWHL confirmed the addition of another West Coast expansion team today. Starting next season, Seattle will play out of Climate Pledge Arena, which is also home to the city's NHL team. The bid was led by the developers and operators of Climate Pledge and the Kraken. Last week, the league announced Vancouver would be the PWHL's first expansion team in Canada. The additions make for an 8-team league in 2025-26.
The Blue Jays will try for a much-needed win tonight as they continue their series against the Red Sox at Rogers Center.
Driven to deep center. Varsho turns. It's gone.
Boston took a 7-0 lead with a homer in the third inning. The Jays got a couple of runs back with a homer of their own in the bottom half of that inning. However, they ended up losing the game 10-2. Despite the loss. Now, a sensational catch by Jays center fielder Dalton Varsho has everyone talking.
In that he seems to normally have. Here's a drive to deep center. Varsho back. And did he catch that ball? He caught that ball.
What a catch. Varsho fell while chasing a fly ball, but managed to recover in time to complete a behind-the-back catch. Varsho had just returned to the lineup after being injured, and he's no stranger to defense. He won his first Gold Glove last year. Just ahead, a window into Cirque du Soleil's new show, OVO, landing in Toronto tomorrow.
Tonight, violent storms sparked chaos for Canadian families.
As I was cooking dinner, and I said, look at the storm outside. And as I moved away to go back to my dinner, she goes, the tree fell on my car.
The damage and struggle to reconnect thousands off the grid. Later on CTV National News.
Cirque du Soleil knows how to amaze with incredible acrobatics and drama, and their newest show is set to open in Toronto tomorrow.
It's called OVO, The Bugs Are Back in Town, and aims to take audiences on a trip inside a colorful ecosystem. CTV's Jessica Smith got a sneak peek.
Storytelling meets art and acrobatics in the latest eye-catching show by Cirque du Soleil.
That's what's mesmerizing. It speaks to anybody, whether you're 3 years old, you're 93 years old. There's something for everybody in this show.
Titled OVO, the show is centered around a bright and energetic ecosystem full of interesting insects interacting with each other, with a special nod to the country of Brazil.
OVO takes a lot of Brazilian influence. Our show's creator is from Brazil, so you're going to see that a lot through the colors, the music.
The show features 53 artists from all over the world, including Canada. And with this run in Toronto, it's a homecoming for many of the artists.
I'm really looking forward to seeing friends and family come to the show, so everybody come. them. And yeah, it's just really cool to represent, and to be here during the most beautiful time of the year, I think is even better.
Each costume is custom made in Montreal and tailored to a T for each insect-inspired look.
It is built for what they do in the shows.
All designed to make you think, feel, and take your breath away.
There's a part in the show where the audience goes, and you hear it every single time, and that sort of stuff is what really makes it fun to do this show.
I love it. Even when I'm in the middle of doing acrobatics and I hear people react, that's what really gives our kind of a clap for us, like for all the hard work that we've done.
Celebrating the idea that just like insects, it takes everyone working together to make this show a success. The Eclectic Insect Show Oboe begins here in Toronto on May 1st and runs all the way through to June 28th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
So it's the last day of April, which means we get to quote Justin Timberlake and say, tomorrow it's gonna be May.
I couldn't say it better. I'm glad you did. And it's true. May is on the way. Tonight it's going to be not bad weather-wise. We're looking at an increase in cloud cover and an overnight low of 7 degrees. Here's a look at what you can expect. There's the low, 7, and then into tomorrow's school day forecast. Yeah, just watch for some cloud cover through the day. Chance of showers, risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon and early evening, especially for that first day of May. Let's take one more look at the 7-day forecast. First weekend of May, not bad, a little cloudy, back into some sunshine by Sunday. And a reminder, tonight's Lotto 649 Gold Ball jackpot is $56 million, plus the classic $5 million jackpot. You can buy your tickets in-store or at olg.ca. Play responsibly, 18 plus. Michelle and Nathan.
Thanks, Lindsay. That's it for us, but be sure to join Omar Sachedina tonight at 11 for CTV National News, followed by Zoraida Allman with your next local newscast at 11:30.
In the meantime, our coverage continues anytime on CP24 and at ctvnewstoronto.ca.
For Lindsay Morrison and all of us here at CTV News, thanks for watching and have a great night.
Thank you.